Hello, I am back again, and today I want to tell you about 5 Shay Blue perfumes I think you really need to try. And also, if you're brand new to the brand and you don't know where to start, I've picked out 5 fragrances which some of them are a bit smokier, some of them are a bit more fruity, some of them are more subtle, some of them are more sweet. I think this is a great cross-section of the Shay Blue collection, and I really think if you're new to the brand, these are the 5 fragrances you need to try first. So, so let's get stuck in. So the first one I want to tell you about is Sicilian Limes. It's made up of notes of limes, sea salt, rosemary, moss, and cedarwood. It's really limey and it's really lovely and sharp and zesty and fresh, but it's also very minerally. Like, it's got that very herby notes, it's quite coastally, it's quite salty. So it's really got that kind of like aquatic, very British seaside feel, which is really lovely, like that seaside and winter feel. But then the limes are really fresh and zesty and kind of quite exciting as well. Like, it's really lovely. If you like brands like Acqua di Parma and you like Wood Sage and Sea Salt by Jo Malone, I think this is going to be a really, really, really good one for you. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's quite a non-fragrance fragrance, but at the same time, the lime just gives it a punch that makes it a little bit more exciting. I love it. I think it's great, and I think this is a great one for men and women who like their perfumes to be a little bit more ethereal and earthy and coastal and just not quite so intrusive. The next fragrance I want to talk about is possibly my favorite ever Shay Blue perfume. It is Blood Oranges. I love this one. I love it so much. It's made up of notes of blood oranges, leather, amber, and charred wood. So I love this one because it's so orangey and it's so lovely and it's so fresh and it's so naturally just like orangey, but then it's also very leathery. So instead of it just feeling like a glass of orange juice, which isn't that exciting, it feels like sunshiny oranges, but then it also feels quite leathery too, which is really exciting and really, like, I don't know, it makes it last longer as well. It's got a great longevity to this perfume. I just think it's spectacular. I think it's really unique, really exciting, but it's also something that doesn't feel like a challenge. Like, it's just easy to love, but there's nothing out there that's like it, and it's just wonderful. Very orangey, very leathery, the two combine, and it's wonderful. The next one I want to recommend is Salt Caramel. Oh, it's so good. So normally I don't love sweet perfumes. I find them a little bit too cloying. I just find them just too sweet, too candy and sugary, and I'm not about that life. But I love this perfume because it's a gourmand without it being sickly. Like, it's really joyful. It's quite boozy, like it's quite a grown-up gourmand, which I really love about it. Oh, it's so good, so good. So it includes notes of caramel, sea salt, tonka bean, bourbon vanilla, and sandalwood. So like I say, it is very sweet, it's very salty and caramelly, but there's something quite boozy about it, something quite woodsy about it. It's quite grown up, it's quite sensual, but it's also delicious. Like, it's delicious, but it's not intrusive and it's not sickly. It's just really, it's really magical. I think it's the best gourmand fragrance I've ever worn. I absolutely love it. Next, I have a huge soft spot for Dandelion Fig. If you like your fragrances green and woodsy and slightly autumnal, this is the one for you. It's absolutely gorgeous. It is Dandelion Fig, and it includes notes of fig, lemongrass, dandelion leaf, tomato vine, and juniper. Ooh. It's fresh and green, earthy and woodsy and slightly autumnal, and it's just really beautiful. I used to love wearing Wild Fig and Cassis by Jo Malone. They discontinued it, and this is possibly the fragrance which I've adopted as my replacement for that, and I would possibly say it's even nicer than that as well. It's not got as much Cassis in, but it's just wonderfully warm and green and lovely to wear. Like, I love this one. I think it's gorgeous. And if you like your fragrances green and very natural and very figsy. This is wonderful. And also the longevity is very good. A lot of fig fragrances wear off very, very, very quickly. This one lasts quite well. And finally, I want to talk about Black's Club Leather. I love this one. They created it for the members club in Soho, Black's Club. It is very much inspired by the leather, the cognac, the brandy, the firewood, the mahogany, and the beeswax. It really captures a side of London which is old establishments with like wood fires and dark bars and lots of wood and smoke and leather. It's really, really, really beautiful. It's very strong, it's very potent. I would say it's the longest lasting, strongest of all the Shay Blue perfumes, but I think it's gorgeous. It is slightly more on the masculine side, however I do wear it a lot because I think it's just wonderful, and sometimes I combine it with the amber rose as well because it just adds a little smokiness and leatheriness to the rose, and the rose adds a little sweetness and floraliness to this fragrance and just makes it a little bit more feminine as well. I think it's gorgeous. This one is slightly more expensive. The other fragrances are all £55 for a 100ml bottle, whereas this one is £85 for a 100ml bottle. Personally, I think it's worth every penny extra. So that is my video. I've tried to pick out something a little bit more juicy, a little bit more soft, a little bit more incensey and leathery. I've tried to really tick off different components of the fragrance world, and I honestly think these 5 fragrances are a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful place to start with the Shay Blue collection. I hope this video has been of help. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Goodbye!